Hey, I'm Marco Hanna from PhoneDog.com, and this is the Moto X, and this is the iPhone 5S. It's not a dogfight, but this is a comparison between two phones that use their onboard power in a make the most of what they have kind of way. Neither of these two phones are serious powerhouses, but they are extremely popular, so let's get started in this comparison. Starting off with the design of both devices. The iPhone, well, it's the iPhone. Built completely out of aluminum and sapphire crystal, it's still one of the best looking, best built, and still very admired smartphone out there. The build quality is top notch, and well, just look at it. It's one beautiful piece of hardware. The iPhone 5S feels great in the hand. It just sits nicely, it's balanced, the materials give off a very quality product feel. Now the Moto X may not have all the fancy materials like the iPhone, but it does have the build quality that competes with a lot of other Android phones. It's primarily built out of plastic but has a rubberized coating on the back plus this little dimple. I actually like it a lot. Motorola really likes to express where this phone was assembled. It's stamped on the back, assembled in the USA. I think it's a great thing, and so far I haven't heard any stories about phones catching on fire, but I do notice the little imperfections of this manufacturing. Notice how the front-facing camera on this unit is not a perfect circle. While this does not affect image quality, it just looks displeasing. A minor note, but something to point out. Now we can talk about displays. The display on the iPhone 5S is a familiar 4-inch Retina display. We all know about the Retina display. It's an IPS panel and has 326 pixels per inch, but now the Moto X has a 4.7-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 1280 by 720. That equals to 316 pixels per inch, just 10 short of the iPhone, but a larger display and a higher resolution. Motorola has done a really good job by making the Moto X fit in the hand. It's almost the perfect size to move into from, say, an iPhone. It's a bit larger, but it feels super compact in the hand, and the slight curvature of the phone falls right in the hand. Now let's talk about performance. These two phones don't have quad-core processors that everyone views as standards. The iPhone 5S has a 1.3 GHz dual-core A7 chip alongside a motion co-processor called M7, and the Moto X has a 1.7 GHz dual-core processor as well. Apple adds a 64-bit architecture to their A7 chip, which will unlock more potential to the iPhone 5S and app development for later on in the future. The Moto X puts their dual-core chip next to something called Motorola's X8. Actually, the dual-core chip is part of it. So X8 is a chain of processors that results into 8 cores. So alongside the dual-core Snapdragon S4 Pro, we have a quad-core Adreno 320 GPU, 1 core for contextual computing, and 1 core for language processing and voice recognition. Running the iPhone and Moto X through their paces are very different experiences. iOS and Android go after different things, but they both perform very similar to each other. I have to give a small edge to the iPhone and how the iPhone browses the web with Safari, but Google Chrome has lagged on even the most powerful Android phones like the Galaxy Note 3. The iPhone just has more fluidity through all the motions. These two are running the most current versions of their respective software, iPhone running iOS 7 and the Moto X running Android 4.4 KitKat. iOS 7, you've seen it and you probably have one stand of liking it or hating it. While the Moto X is running the latest version of Android, what's even better, this version is almost pure vanilla Android. The Android experience of the Moto X has been one of my more favorable experiences with Android. But the Moto X does have a few great features like active Google Now. It's actually more useful than you think, and it proves to be just as accurate as Apple's Siri. Now the gaming performance is also very similar. Both of these phones have upsides even if they don't have super powerful processors. The Moto X has a quad-core GPU, and the iPhone 5S has a more advanced A7 chip and the M7 for more accurate motion pickup. They both load Real Racing 3 in similar times, and the gameplay looks great on both. My eyes tell me that the iPhone gives more clear results, but they are so close that I can almost call it a draw. Benchmarks are not strong points for both of these devices, but they do deliver enough power to get you along. But the Moto X really does shine here. It has a lot of power, and it shines it also in the battery life. The Moto X has a small 2200 mAh battery, yet it lasts over 13 hours to one single charge. Some have even gotten 24 hours on a single charge. The iPhone has an even smaller 1570 mAh battery, and that lasts about 8 to 9 hours on one single charge. The battery on the Moto X is larger than the iPhone 5S, but it has such an amazing battery life compared to more powerful smartphones like the Galaxy S4. In the end, these two devices choose form before function, and use all the power they have on hand. Unlike more powerful smartphones, these deliver enough performance yet keep the simple design and proportions down to a minimum. The price of these are massively different. Obviously, the iPhone 5S costing $200 on contract or $750 off, while you can grab the Moto X off contract for $350, but if you're watching this video when it's posted, it's currently available for $150 off contract. That is one scorching hot deal. Well, my name is Marco Hanna from PhoneDog.com. I will see you guys in the next video.